The late morning sun lit the quiet streets of a small rural town as Officer Mark Harris drove his patrol car slowly along the dusty road, scanning his surroundings as part of his routine. Nothing seemed unusual until a sudden blur of movement darted into the road. A thin, trembling dog with patchy, dirt-streaked fur. Mark pressed the brake, ready to let the animal pass, but then froze. The dog rose shakily on its hind legs and with effort, pressed its two front paws together, almost like hands in prayer. Its brown eyes glistened with desperation, locked on the officers. Mark blinked, whispering, "You can't be serious." The dog whimpered, repeated the gesture, then ran a few steps forward, turning back as if pleading for him to follow. Something stirred inside Mark. He pulled the cruiser aside and stepped out. "All right, boy. Show me." The dog bolted down a narrow path, stopping often to look back until they reached a collapsed shed near the edge of a field. The smell hit him first, sharp, bitter, chemical. On the ground lay a female dog, trembling, foam at her mouth, chest heaving shallowly. The male circled her, then stood upright again, pressing his paws together in a raw, pleading cry. Mark knelt quickly. "She's been poisoned," he muttered. He called for veterinary support, but instinct told him there was no time. He grabbed a bottle of clean water from his kit, gently splashing it into her mouth and massaging her throat until she coughed weakly, fighting for breath. The male stayed close, his massive head lowered, eyes fixed on the officer's every move. Not aggressive, only trusting. Mark drew a small syringe of antidote, his hands steady but his heart racing. He found a vein, pressed the plunger, and prayed silently. For long moments nothing happened. Then the female convulsed, gasped, and blinked her eyes open. Mark exhaled in relief. "That's it. Stay with me." The male rushed to nuzzle her, tail wagging desperately as he whimpered with joy. Soon, the veterinary unit arrived, gave her fluids, and lifted her carefully onto a stretcher. The male followed every step, silent and faithful, never leaving her side. At the clinic, she received round-the-clock care. Mark visited whenever he could, standing by the cage and whispering encouragement, while each dawn the male appeared to press his head against the bars, keeping watch until nightfall. Weeks later, under the same bright sun, the gates were opened. The female emerged slowly, limping but alive. The male bounded toward her, pressing his forehead to hers, a reunion of love and loyalty words could never capture. Mark watched from a distance, his chest heavy. As the dogs turned to leave, the male paused, stood tall on his hind legs once more, and pressed his front paws together, a gesture of pure gratitude. Mark swallowed hard, knowing he had witnessed something sacred. A prayer answered not in a church, but in the daylight of a forgotten field. The dogs trotted away together, their bond unbroken, and Officer Mark carried the memory forever. A reminder that compassion has no boundaries, that even the strongest plea can come from the most fragile voice, and that when we listen, we keep hope alive.